Hey guys, the next episode, you probably just watched the character IDs. Now we're going to do the dialogues. This is where you actually interact with your NPC. You'll talk to them through here. Just like before, we can click the plus to create a dialogue. Now you see this dialogue ID up here. We're going to take the start dialogue, copy that, and paste that here. When you first press F on the NPC, it will go to this dialogue. It will display this dialogue first. So we're going to add a message and a reply. The message is what the NPC says, and the replies are what you're able to say to the NPC. So, another thing I want to talk about is styling. In NPC Maker, you can see a few styling tips over here. Pause, break, name NPC, name character, and the color, rarity / color. If you played Unturned before, which I'm guessing you have, you know that if you type on signs, you can use basic HTML / XML formatting to make things colored and styled and look nice. You can do the same in here. So if we want the dialogue to be bold, we can do that. We can do two little gator signs in each direction, B, and then hello. How are you doing? If we want, we can color it, but we're not going to color this. You can italicize it with this. You can set it to color with a hexadecimal code. I don't think that's an actual hex code. You can set it to red, green, etc. You can also set it to unturned rarities, so like rare, mythical, etc. You can also insert line breaks, but in this situation, just needs to be a basic text. So hi, how are you doing? I'm going to say I'm good. So now we can either continue on the dialogue, or we can add replies and make like a separate direction for the dialogue. So in this situation, since this dude buys meth, he's not going to know you're the meth dealer per se, we'll say. In this situation, you're going to tell him that you have the meth and he's going to buy it from you. So what we're going to do is going to be like, I have the meth. Actually, that sounds like very like white Hollywood, but we'll just put it for anyways. I have the meth. Do you want to buy? Right? And so we're going to add a new dialogue up here. So now we have two dialogues. Same for characters. You can have multiple characters. You can have your entire NPCs on one file. I just think that's kind of hard to manage, so I just make a file per NPC. So now we're going to create a new dialogue, give it an ID again. It can be a random number. IDs don't matter, as long as they are below 65535 and above 0. I suggest using 6 digits, and whenever you use an ID, always check errorless to see if you're already using an ID that exists, because then the NPC will bug out. So this will be the response to when you ask him if he wants to buy meth. It's gonna be like, awesome. I would like to buy some meth from you. And then, so because I want to teach you guys both ways, next episode we'll do a vendor setup for selling meth, but I do want to show you guys the start to conditions and rewards. So we're going to put sell 1 meth pouch for, I think it was 150. Obviously that number could be changed to if you like. So up in conditions, we can add a condition. There's so many conditions. These depend on visibility. So like if the condition is not met, it will not be visible. So like if the player does not have the item we specify, this option will not show up. So what we're going to do, since we're using the Norfolk drug mod, we're going to find the meth pouch. We're going to take its ID, copy paste it. We're going to make it just 1, and we're going to set it to take item on complete. Localization, I'm not 100% sure what that does, but it doesn't matter. So with has item, you can set the amount and take item on complete and its ID. If the player does not have this item, it won't work. If the player has more than the required amount of item, it will work. This will just specify the amount of item to take, or the minimum amount of item to have. So boom, 1 meth pouch takes it on completion. If we want to have it so that they need to have a certain flag, which can be set with /flag in game, we can go flag value short, the flag ID, the flag value, and then logic for it, reset it, etc., but we're not doing that. Boom. And then rewards, I'm also going to get into currencies quickly. You can either give them an item reward, which could be the easier way, or you can use a currency GUID, which makes things a lot easier if you're working with that. We're using the money expansion mod, and since we're getting $150, I believe, yep, $150, we're going to figure out what the currency GUID is real quick, right down here. We're going to paste in this GUID. Sometimes there might be a space at the end. You always want to delete it. Just make sure you don't have a space at the end. And then you're going to specify the amount. In this situation, 150, and it'll give the player an equal amount of 150 in whatever the currency GUID is worth. There you go. We're also can add a never mind, which can just close the dialog, which is where we won't set any next dialog IDs. Now back over here, because I'm not sure we did it. I have meth. Do you want to buy? We need to set the next dialog ID. We're going to paste that in. It's going to go to this dialog when clicking this. In this situation where it says I'm good, it can just close the dialog, so we don't need to do anything else. And that's it. If we want to have it so that the person needs to have a certain flag, we can do that. So for example, if the person has the flag 150 with the value of 3, they need that to be able to sell meth to them. But in this situation, we don't need to. Depending on your NPCs, you might not. Anyway, that's the basic of dialogues. Dialogues can be used in lots more complicated ways, using conditions, rewards to make storylines. I suggest you figuring that out yourself by going through the different rewards, the different conditions, the different visibility stuff, all of that fun stuff. You can do the same over for your character. It's such a powerful tool. The next episode will be covering vendors, but now you should understand how to do both characters and dialogues.